We're going to be doing 2 prizes right now when you make a $100 order before January 14th. And somebody goes, wait a second, you know what? I made a $100 order. How do I make sure I'm in the drawing? Like I said, join that Facebook group. Make sure that you are in on that in case you win, like Debbie did. We're going to be doing 2 $500 cash prizes. Customers are eligible. Planners are eligible. So make sure that everybody joins that and they fill out. There's a Google form to fill out to be eligible for that. How do you find out about the Google form? You jump on the Korean Skincare Challenge Facebook page and you read the information. It's very simple. We've got some insights here. We've got we've got the website to teach people how to do it, how to really be successful with this type of strategy at meetremon.com/skincare challenge 2025. That's for planners, not for customers, but it gives you insights. There's resources on there. We have an event announcement call replay that was done by Dina and Kate Twig, which was phenomenal. And then how to leverage the event was done by Brianna Michaels. You can catch that information there. And then obviously the information for the early bird obviously is on the page there when you join the Skincare Challenge. Just want to make sure everybody knows about that. Everybody's wrapping up the Remon retreat. It's the last month to qualify. Everybody knows about that. How do you qualify? Get 1,000 travel points and bam, you're in there. There's probably, I would say, I know that there's very few spots still available because I don't know if we're going to make it till January 31st, meaning if you're close, get it done now. And at the same time, we're double dipping on the travel points with the sponsor one and unlock your fun. More people right now than ever before are qualifying for this by sponsoring one brand new planner. If you get one planner started this month, guess what? You've unlocked obviously the fun. And here's what it looks like. If you get 10 travel points in the month of January, you're going to get a $20 product credit, $100 max on that. If you get, that's 10 travel points. If you get 20 travel points, you're going to be able to get the headband. 50 travel points, you get the Remon black tote bag. 1,000 travel points will get you the Gusha. You guys know I'm going to butcher that, but the cool roller that everybody loves. Obviously, the 150 gets you the travel points, get you the gray sweat, the zip up. 250 travel points gets you the gray zip up plus sweatpants. 500 gets you the Remon luggage, and obviously 1,000 gets you a new iPad. So you want to make sure you're taking advantage of that. The rules are all there. They're also in the drive. We're not going to go over that. How to earn travel points. I'm going to break that down right now. First way is this: if you acquire 40 brand new active customers in the month of January, bam, you get 100 travel points, right? So personally enroll 40 active customers this month, and you get 100 travel points for that. Every 5, you're going to earn 5 travel points for every $100 purchase you make US dollars. Make sure you understand US dollars, Canadians. So you got to understand that. Obviously, next time we do this, we're going to encourage them to do BP so there's no confusion, which I know all the Canadians will really love. You can earn a maximum of 35 points per one single customer order. So everybody's excited about that. Example would be this: if you got 5 customers at $200, you would earn 50 travel points. Let's say you enrolled 10 customers at $200 US, you would earn obviously what? 100 travel points. It's very easy to understand. If you rank advanced, if you're a planner and you become a senior manager, you're going to earn 100 travel points. If you're a senior manager, you obviously want to become a team leader. If you go 3, you're going to get 300. And everybody knows team leader is a great place to visit, but not a great place to live because you want to be a director. Hit director, obviously this month, you're going to get 2,000 travel points. And that's really exciting. So sponsoring new people, what do we get? We get travel points on top of it whenever they get a starter kit, right? So when somebody upgrades, say somebody already gets started with a travel kit and they make that first order, hey, if they upgrade and make a second one, guess what? You get travel points for that as well. So make sure that obviously you upgrade all of your planners. You get somebody started with an expert starter kit. Not a lot of people get started with that smaller kit. A lot of people get the bigger one, but hey, if they get a little one, guess what? You're going to get 10 travel points for that. Somebody gets a starter kit plus that middle one, that 1,000-point one, you're going to get 50 travel points. And obviously, premium, you're going to get 100. So if somebody gets started with a premium and an expert starter kit, meaning maybe they dip their toe in the water, they get that little kit, that 300-point kit, and then they upgrade to get the premium, the 1,500 kit, guess what? You're going to get travel points on both of those as well. And if somebody gets 2 starter kit premiums, you're going to get obviously 200 travel points. And if somebody gets started with 4 somebody gets started with 4 premium kits, how much would you earn? So if somebody gets started with 4 premium starter kits, you would earn obviously what? 400 travel points. So just making sure everybody's clear on that. Basically, an example that I put over here to the left, you would get 10 travel points, 50, 10, 100, 200. That would be 370 travel points just for that example that we used there to the left. Bottom line is what? We're going to start sponsoring like crazy after tonight's training. I can promise you that. So get ready for that. Monthly performances. Obviously, every team leader gets 10,000 BP every calendar month to remain qualified. I wish they didn't give us travel points for that, because you shouldn't even be focusing on that. If you make your minimums, your maximums, you're going to struggle in life, not just in Remon. You want to go above and beyond what your goals are. We talked about that last week. Achieve 30,000 travel points. 30,000 BP. You're going to get 200 travel points as a team leader for open line volume. 100,000 BP for director. You're going to get 300 travel points. But you can, obviously, as a director, you can get both. You can get 30,000 open line, which you want to be doing anyways as a director. You want to lead by example. And obviously, you can get 100,000 BP as the director and get your 300. So a lot of ways to earn travel points this month. There's never been a more exciting time to get travel points, okay? Get yourself qualified, unlock your one so you can have some fun with us. Right now, Product University was absolutely on another planet last week. I know everybody loved it. I put the replay on the Team 1% on the Team 1% Facebook page. Man, that was the best training of all time that I've ever seen. I think this week's going to be even better. So how do you register? Screenshot this. People are asking. The session 4 is at HQ. So the one on the left, the QR code on the left, guess what? That's for the in-person one that we're going to be doing at the office. The one on the right is what? For the Zoom. So make sure you guys understand the difference there. Very simple. Get registered for that so you can be reminded. Saturday, Kai Wynn and myself are going to be doing what? An opportunity overview. What do you want to do? Right? What do you want to do? You want to get guests on there, right? If you've been doing presentations, I know some of you are like, hey, I didn't do any presentations today. Well, because you probably didn't get the presentation training. After today, everybody's going to be doing presentations like never before. And that's why these Zooms are so important. You know, I did my first Zoom was this morning at 8 a.m. With actually Dr. Pimple Popper's boyfriend, right? If you guys know who that is, trying to get him obviously started. He's going to be flying out here from the East Coast to meet with me. They're going to be coming out here for that, to meet with me on that. So once again, what did I do? Got him excited, getting him on tomorrow's call. Do you guys see what I do? I did a presentation after that at 9 o'clock. What did I do? Get them on Saturday's call. So all the presentations I did all day long, guess what I'm doing? I'm getting them on the next exposure, which is the Saturday call. Do you guys see how smart that is? So you want to use these as not just first exposures, but also what? Second exposures for all the presentations you're going to be doing. Now, somebody goes, Tim, I'm nervous to do presentations. We all were. Don't worry. We're going to train on that tonight. We've got Monday. We've got Abigail and obviously Director Abigail and Christy Bellison, who's knocking on the door, about to wrap up Director here in probably the next week or so. Monday, we're going to be doing a live event. So if you know people in Southern California, you really want to build out here. Okay, you really want to build out here because we have our HQ out here. So you want to start building in the Irvine area in Southern California, anywhere, so they can plug into this these events that we do, these live events. Everybody loves them, right? So make sure you get everybody out for that. We've got a great event planned out for that. Tuesday's orientation is going to be this training is going to be so great for people. People realize, look, you want to get everybody on these orientations. They're going to help you win big. Obviously, the product training is going to be unbelievable this week. I'm really excited about that one. Thursday, we've got the Remon Reveal. I know Susan Manuelo is going to be doing that. I believe Susan is. I need, before I say too much. Friday, I put my picture on here, but I just got word. I got great news. Brianna Michaels is going to be doing it with Chris Kim. So doesn't get any better than that. I know everybody's like, yes. So Brianna confirms she's going to do it. So you're going to take my ugly mug off there, which I'm sure you guys could probably get a break from me. I'm going to be in Canada, and Brianna's going to step in and be on fire on Friday. So make sure you mark your calendars now. Toronto events, I'm going to be out there for that event in Toronto. If you want to get your pre-sale tickets, talk to Renee Shao. If you don't have her information, reach out on Facebook. I posted this on our Team 1% page. Edmonton's going to be next level. We're going to be doing that at the 18th. If you got people in Calgary or Edmonton or anywhere in Alberta, send them out there for that. There's going to be people coming in from Saskatchewan. Hope I said that right. People are going to be coming in from all over to be at these events. So they're going to be so powerful. You got people in those markets, get them out there. Las Vegas, everybody's excited about that. We all know the team leader party will be a game changer. So you got to be a team leader for this party, man. The party is the party's the best part. Okay, if you ask me, and I know no one asked me, but I'm just gonna share with you anyways. That party is going to be unbelievable. For that is going to be. I'm so excited about this. Obviously, it's going to be an unbelievable event. We've got the virtual one because we're sold out. We sold out in about 3 weeks. If you got extra tickets, reach out to me on Facebook. I need about 1,000 tickets. So I am scooping them up and buying them up left and right for all of our new directors that we have that are building for this event. So if you've got the live ones and you've got extra tickets, people that for whatever reason, if you bought a 10-pack or 20-pack or 100-pack, get them to me. I will buy them from you. Also, we've got the virtual streaming. This is going to be big. How you take advantage of this is so important. Get your teams together. If you've got people in an area, get them together for a watch party. Trust me when I tell you this. You don't want people, doing the dishes and watching this convention. Do you guys see that? You don't want somebody, walking their dog, right? You know how it is. Some of you are walking your dog right now. You're like, oh, damn, that's what I'm doing, Tim. We want to make sure we're tuned in and we're in an environment where everybody's watching together. And we're going to be talking about meeting conduct and all those things as we move closer to this. So plan for that for all your people that are not going to be able to make it because it's sold out. And we're going to get into this. Yeah, I did the goal setting workshop last week and I showed this picture myself. This is what I look like when I first got involved in network marketing. So just realize where you are right now has nothing to do where you're going to end up. There's not one person that looks like this guy in the business. So if this guy can make it, everybody can make it. This 17-year-old kid that was basically homeless, was homeless, was able to make it happen. So if I can do it, you can do it, right? So we're going to talk about how to do it. Understand there's 2 types of things. If you're taking notes, it's a good time to start. We're going to jump into today's training. There's something called a workhorse and something called a show pony, right? In network marketing, the workhorses make all the money. The show ponies, they just want people to go around and clap for them, and they don't make the big money. So you realize you want to be a workhorse, not a show pony in network marketing. You guys can tell I'm a little rough around the edges. You guys see that? But I'm a workhorse, right? I get the job done, right? I work hard because I love this business. I love Riemann. I love this opportunity. I love the products. I love what we're doing. And I work around the clock. Why? Because I love it so much. Now, some people are show ponies. They want people to think they're great, but they're not doing anything. They're just walking around in circles, maybe jumping over some little things. Okay. What are they called? Like the equestrians that jump over this stuff. I don't even know what that's about. All I know is workhorses make the money. And if you're a workhorse, this training is going to really resonate with you. Okay. So today we're going to talk about developing skills. Okay. The first thing you've got to realize is this, and I'm going to share with you what I told the group in Hong Kong last week when I was in Hong Kong doing the event on the 5th there. I said, how many of you, how many of you can speak English, right? And a handful of people raised their hand. I said, let me explain to you what I just asked. Okay, this Riemann is not about can or can't. It's about do or don't. Okay, so do I speak Chinese? Do I speak Mandarin? Do I? No. Can I? Can I? Yes, I can if I'm willing to what? Learn. Do you guys see the difference? I said the same thing to the people in Korea. I said, can I speak Korean? And they said, no, you cannot. And I said, and they were like, wait a second, maybe this guy can. I said, I can, but I don't. Okay. So realize that it's the same thing with everything, right? When you were born, could you walk, right? Well, you could, right? You just had to learn how to do it. Okay. So you got to realize right now your skill set is where it is. Okay. And whatever your skill set is, if you're maxed out on your skill set, I don't understand how that's possible. Okay. Because I can tell you right now, today, I'm better than I was last week. Today, I'm better than I was last month. Why? Because the more presentations I do, the better I get. Okay. The better I get. So understand that new skills takes time. No one's going to be a natural. Okay. Nobody's going to be a natural. And I'm talking now, some people will come in here and make a lot of money fast, but that's like, if I'm learning, if you're learning a language, right? Maybe you learn a little bit faster, but the reality is sometimes people's income will grow higher than their skill set. And if your skill set doesn't grow to match your income will always go back down to your skill set. So you want to fall in love with getting better. So we're going to talk about what that looks like tonight. Obviously, expedite your learning process. That's a huge one, right? I got journals all over the place, right? I can show you, where's that one journal? I fill this thing up in 4 days? Where the heck is that bad boy? I don't know, man. I go through journals so fast. I will sit down and just take notes like crazy, and I'll take an audio program and take all the notes out of it that I possibly can. You want to expedite your learning process. Who controls how fast you learn? You do, right? If you wanted to learn a language, could you maybe take one of those like little language courses and maybe do like one lesson a week? Sure. Could you do 2 lessons a week? Sure. Could you do 1 lesson a month? Sure. Could you do a lesson a day? Yes, you could. So realize you control how fast you grow. Okay? You control how fast you grow. Now, why don't I know how to speak Mandarin? Because there's not an incentive. If somebody said, hey, Tim, I'll pay you $1 million to learn how to speak Chinese, there is no debating you that I would learn how to speak Mandarin or I would learn how to speak Korean. If the money's right, I'll do it, right? So the money's here. Let's learn the skills, okay? Turn your car into a mobile classroom, right? You jump in my car, I'm always listening to motivational stuff, right? I'm always listening to personal growth and development, right? I'm always listening to things that are going to help me get better, okay? When I go to Korea, I can say a few phrases and people get all excited. But I learned that because I turned my car into a mobile classroom. Before I started building in Korea, I got a couple of things, audios, and I started learning a little bit about the language. So you can learn whatever you want to learn. If you want to learn about public speaking, right? If you want to learn about having success in our industry, right? Whatever it is, most people, what they do is they'll listen to the replays on their way to work, right? So they'll listen to the replays of the Zooms on their way to work so they can get more information, right? They'll jump on, they'll take today's training whenever I post the recording, and they'll listen to this again and again and again and again. And that's how you develop your skill set, right? You listen over and over and over and over and over again, right? And that's not everybody. Some people will, maybe memorize a new song that they like, right? So not everybody will do that. But understand, more meetings means more money, right? Now, if you just go to an event, right? If you just go into an event, whether it's a Zoom meeting or a in-person meeting or anything that you're doing, if you go to an event and you're not paying attention, you're not getting from the event, right? So it's not about going to an event, it's about getting from the event. Like some of you guys at the Remon convention are going to be taking notes like never before, okay? Some of you will not, right? What's the difference? It's about desire. It's about how bad you want to get good. For me, when I got involved in this industry, you guys saw what I looked like. I had long hair, as a homeless guy. I wanted to get good fast. So what did I do? I expedited my learning process, right? I went to every event that I could. I took as many notes as I could, and I applied what I learned. I didn't just absorb information, okay? I always tell people that skills makes labor more valuable. Let me say it again. Skills makes labor more valuable. Skills makes labor more valuable, right? Meaning that the skills that you have makes the work that you do be more rewarding, okay? So skills makes labor more valuable. But listen to this. You cannot develop the skills without the labor, okay? You cannot learn how to speak Spanish or you cannot learn how to speak another language if you don't engage in it and try. You've got to say some words and mess it up and say some words and mess it up, and you course correct and you get better. So realize it's you can do anything that you want to do. Talk to a guy today that's a pilot, right? It was a pilot that I just talked to for one of the teams earlier today at 3:00. And I said, I've always wanted to fly a plane. He says, you can fly a plane. You just don't know how yet. So I'm like, oh man, you got me, right? Because that's exactly what I'm teaching here right now is you can do anything that you want to do. You just got to be willing to put the time, effort, and energy into developing the skill set, right? So understand, guard your mind and eliminate negative self-talk. That's a big one. A lot of people I found out, they don't think. What they do is they basically recycle their fears, their doubts, and their self-imposed limitations, okay? Make sure you should be your biggest cheerleader, right? Not your biggest, critic, okay? So encourage yourself. Have that dialogue that I'm going to get the job done. I'm going to learn how to do this. I'm going to step up. I'm going to work hard. That's how you get better. A lot of you guys are like, man, I want to be a director. I want to be a senior director, right? If you're a team leader, you want to go obviously director. Nobody wants to live at team leader, right? They're running for director. Everybody's running for director, running for director. All the directors are running for senior director. Well, realize this, right? It's not about getting to the rank. It's about developing the skill set, right? If you develop the skill set, right, of a director, you develop the skill set of a senior director, you're going to get there, right? And if you're a director on paper, but you don't develop the skill set, you're gonna have a hard time getting to senior director. So you've got to develop your skills. How do you develop your skills? Activity. Okay, and we're gonna talk more about that. When you're developing other presenters, only give positive feedback. You want to avoid negative criticism. When you're developing presenters, you always want to look for what they're doing right. If you're developing leaders, you want to talk about what you love about your people. When you focus on developing leaders, you focus on their strengths, not their weaknesses. If I ask you about your team and you're like, oh man, my team, I'll tell you what, dude, they are something else. And you're negative about your team, shame on you, right? I'm telling you right now, there's not one person that's not in my organization that I want in my organization. There's not anybody that's not in my team that I wish was in my team. You understand? My team is the best team. My leaders are the best leaders, right? That's how I think. My wife is the most beautiful. My wife is the most beautiful woman on the planet. My kids are the most beautiful kids on the planet. I hope you feel the same way about your family. Okay? So you've got to have that conviction. What makes my wife so beautiful? She's mine. What makes my kids so beautiful? They're mine. What makes my business so great? It's my business. I love Rima. I love what we're doing, right? You've got to fall in love with your team. So when you're developing people, don't be a fault finder. Be a good finder. Some people look at people and find faults like there's a reward for it, right? There's no reward for finding faults. The reward is only for finding what's great in people and helping bring that out, right? So I love this stuff. This is great information. How you do anything is how you do everything. How you do anything is how you do everything. As soon as I walked in the house after flying home from Korea, guess what I did? Put away the dishes. Because I'm all out. I'm all out massive action. You should see me take out the trash. You'd be like, damn, this guy is committed. This guy's committed. Nobody's taking out trash like me, man. I have a focus and a determination to make it happen, right? And it's because that's how I operate. Everything I do my absolute very best at it. Why? Because whatever your hands find to do it with all your strength, do it with all your power, do it with all your might. You guys all know what's going on. Woo, I'm getting fired up here right now. So developing your skills. The time will never be just right. So start presenting today. That's what's so funny is somebody's like, well, I'm brand new. How do I start? You just start. You just start. You do a presentation. My first presentation was absolutely horrible. It doesn't matter. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. You know what I mean? You can't say so you're looking for lookers. You're looking for people who are looking for you. How do you find them? You present, man. Don't wait. Waiters are always, ever been a waiter before or a waitress, right? You ever seen this? You're not trying to be a waiter. You're trying to be a leader, man. Take action, okay? Take action. I'm telling you, that's how you get good. You don't want to be the king or queen. You want to be the king or queen maker. You guys see that? I'm not trying to be the best in my organization. I'm trying to develop the best. I'm not trying to be the best person in Riemann. I'm trying to have my team be the best team. I'm trying to have my team be the best there is, right? The people in my organization be the best, right? You want to develop your team. How do you develop your team? How do you become a king maker? How do you become a queen maker? You're only going to give birth to what you are. So you've got to develop your skills so you can teach other people how to do it. How do you develop your skills? You just start now. Okay, I love this, right? And I love the fact that these pictures are too big, right? But the best presenter never wins. Okay, that's what this says. I know someone's like, what is going on? Trust me, you guys, I made this PowerPoint. You can tell. If there's a typo, Tim did it, right? If the pictures are off, Tim did it, right? So let me just tell you, the best presenter never wins. The best presenter never wins. The person who can duplicate the most presenters wins. Jackpot. Jackpot. That's a good one. The person that can develop and duplicate the most presenters wins. It's a relay race. It's not a sprint. It's not a marathon. It's a relay race. But if you're not doing presentations, let me explain something to you, okay? When you put the Riemann products on, what happens? You know, hey, these are the best products, right? You're convinced. So now when you talk to people about the products, what happens? It's easy to convince them. Why? Because you just got to get them to try it. You guys see that? How do you recruit people into the opportunity? How do you recruit people into Riemann? You got to be like I am, sold silly on Riemann. Why am I so excited about Riemann? Because I've been around this industry for the last 30 years and I've never seen a company like Riemann. I've never seen a company that's done what they've done, that's built a resort for their team, for their people in the company, that's built a 150,000 square foot smart farm, that's, that building in Irvine, they bought it, that's opening up 40 countries plus the next 5 years. There's not another Remont, man. This is the best opportunity on the planet. Now, is there room for improvement? Yes. Somebody goes, well, you know what, Tim? I saw this on Amazon. Guys, all that stuff's going to be gone. All those short sellers, all that stuff, that will be gone. Well, what about this, Tim? I processed a payment and I got an error code. Guys, IT is everything's going to be better. You don't want a company that has no problems. If you have a company with no problems, you don't have an opportunity. When I got started in Remont, there was no customer service that spoke English. And I didn't sit back and go, wow, there's no customer service. Guess what I said? Nice. This is what I want, man. Nobody speaks English in this company. This is an opportunity of a lifetime, right? I love challenges. Why? Because I'm a leader, man. I can lead through a challenge, right? I'm a winner, not a whiner. You guys see how I am? Okay. I'm not a whiner. I'm not going to complain about stuff. Why? Because the bones are right. The bones are right in Remont. No, man, when you guys see what we're doing here next year, this thing's going to be on fire. But guess what? You got to start presenting. So I'm sold, so it's easy for me to recruit other people, right? Now, here's the deal. How do you get your people to do stuff? How do I get my team motivated? Tim, how do I get my team to work? I can convince people to work. Why? Because I am sold on working, right? I'm sold on taking action so I can get other people to duplicate what I do because I believe in it. Do you guys see that? If I'm like, hey, man, you know what, you guys, if I'm just sitting there, on my couch and I'm saying, hey, guys, let's go out there and do some Remont, and I'm not doing anything, people can smell a phony a mile away. I don't think there's one person on this call that believes that I'm not grinding. You ask anybody that knows anything about my work ethic, they'll be like, dude, that dude has one speed, all out. So and I have the ability to be able to do that forever. See, some people can stay excited for 5 minutes. Some people can stay excited for 5 days. Some people can stay excited for 5 months. Some people can stay excited for 5 years. I can stay excited until, what a magical word until is. Until it happens. You understand? So whatever that goal is, I'm doing it until. I don't get burnt out. Why? Because I've been homeless, man. I've lived on top of a school. Do you guys see the difference? Right? I don't have an off button. Right? I don't have an off button. So when I talk to people, I can get them inspired to do the same thing. Do you guys see what happens? But if I'm trying to get you to do something that I'm not sold on doing, you're going to be able to smell a phony a mile away. So how do you lead? By example. The only way to lead is by example. So you want to develop the most presenters? I'm going full circle. The best presenter never wins. The person who can duplicate the most presenters always wins. That's what's hidden in this little thing that these pictures are on top of. Who can duplicate the most presenters wins. You've got to develop presenters. Man, I'm getting fired up. How do you develop a presenter? You've got to become one yourself. Somebody goes, well, Tim, I'm brand new. Don't worry. We're going to teach you how to do it. Okay, so there's 3 stages to presenting. Opening up a person's mind, opening up their hearts, finding out what their hot button is, finding out what they want, right? Helping them look at their life and say, hey, look, you know what? Maybe I do need something a little bit different. That's called opening them up. Second thing is presenting the information. This is the easiest part of them all. And this is the part the majority of you guys are scared of. You're like, oh man, I'm scared to do that. The most important thing is closing and opening. The presenting is the least important thing. Because let me explain to you guys why closing is so important. Okay, now closing doesn't mean you pressure somebody into the business. You're not trying to forcefully drag someone across the starting line. You understand what I'm saying? I don't drag people across the starting line. Okay, but I guess what I do? I do ask for their business. I do ask them to join my business. I ask them to get started. And if I know, give an example. I know this probably is going to sound weird to you guys, but when I took my wife on our first date, do you know when I went to pick her up, I already knew I was going to go in for that goodnight kiss? You guys see what I'm saying? I was going in for that goodnight kiss. I know somebody's like, damn, that's a little bit too much information. I'm just letting you know. I knew it. So I knew in the back of my mind, I was going to go in for that kiss at the end of the night, no matter what. So guess what happened? My date went really well with her. Do you guys see what happens? So if I know at the end of the presentation, I'm going to ask somebody to get started, my presentation is going to naturally get better. But the opening them up part is the most important part. Opening up your prospects, discovering their hot buttons, why they would want to get started in Remont, forming them, right? These things. So these are the 3 stages that I'm going to break down here today. And I've got to take a look at my clock because I know Okay, good. I'm pretty good on time. So let's do it. I'm rocking and rolling. Okay. And guys, we can go back over this stuff. Somebody's like, Tim, you're going too fast. I can't keep up. I can't take many notes. Just relax. We're going to come back to this. And I know if you're brand new, you're like presenting. Oh my God, this is nervous. Don't worry. If you know you're going to be presenting when you get on the call tomorrow, right? Kai Wynn and I are doing a call tomorrow, right? The opportunity call. Guess what? When you listen to those calls with the intent to do them, you're listening with a different set of ears. You understand? When you're sitting down or you're getting your prospect on a Zoom for maybe your upline team leader, your upline director, your upline senior manager, and you're brand new. If you know you're going to be presenting, you're going to be listening with a different set of ears. On Monday, when Abby and Christy Bellison do the opportunity presentation, guess what? You're going to be listening with a different set of ears. When Susan and everybody doing the opportunity, the orientation, and you know you're going to be doing them, you're listening what? With a different set of ears. So you got to realize, even though you're brand new and you're like, oh my God, presenting, this is scary. Come on, give me a break. This is not scary. Jesus, you guys are being silly. Okay. Presenting, whenever I'm introducing a presenter, guess what? I properly edify the presenter. Okay. I properly edify the presenter. Okay. Now I edify, not edify. You guys understand that? You don't make up something that's not true, right? If you introduced me to somebody and said, hey, this guy is the best looking guy in the world, they're like, dude, this guy's ugly. What are you talking about, right? Now, you don't want to say, hey, this guy is really ugly. Don't worry, I'll say that for you. But what you want to do is find something good about the people that you work with, right? Once again, it's easy for me to find good things about people because I look for the good in people. That's why I'm able to develop presenters and develop leaders. I fall in love with the people on my team of what they can be, not what they are. Because if you treat somebody as they are, they become worse. But if you treat somebody for what they could be, they'll become what they should be. I know what you're saying, man. Say that again. Look, I stole that from Johann von Goethe, the German philosopher or poet or whatever he was. If you look at somebody for what they are, you'll make them worse. But if you see them for what they could be, they'll become what they should be. Man, I'm getting pumped up here today. So when you're opening somebody up, you got to make sure the presenter's properly edified. So you got to make sure you're doing this. So how do you do this? You duplicate the culture, right? So if I'm introducing you as a guest to my sponsor or the person that's going to be presenting the information, I'm edifying them, right? I'm making sure that they know how powerful this person is. Man, I'm telling you what about this Kai Wynn guy. This guy, is one of the top money earners in the company. He's got an unbelievable story where this guy started at, right? This guy Kai started. Me and Kai think about this. Me and Kai were both homeless. Think about that when we got involved in this industry. I'm talking about rags to riches stories. Man, Kai and I have done it, right? I mean, you're going to love this guy's. So I'm telling you guys things about people. Now, if you're never on a call and you're like, who's this Christy Bellison girl? How are you going to properly edify if you've never seen a call? So if you don't know, find out about Christy. Find out about how well she's doing, right? So people, here's what you got to realize, okay? Edify the presenter. Now, if you're presenting, now if I do that and I introduce you, and now whenever you introduce me to your prospects, what are you going to do? People do what you do, not what you say. So if I introduce somebody to the opportunity and I'm edifying the presenter, which that's how I got started. I didn't know how to present this information when I first got started. I knew I was doing presentation, but I didn't know what I was talking about. I would get them on a second exposure. So I was getting everybody excited out of their mind about what I was excited about. And I just said, you got to hear this information. This guy doing the call is unbelievable. And I would promote the person doing the call, the lady doing the call. So then after the call, whenever they started doing the same thing, they were saying good things about me. So if you want people to say good things about you, say good things about others, right? If you want people to, somebody goes, man, my people treat me terrible. Well, how do you treat your upline? Do you get what I'm saying? However you treat other people is what's going to happen to you, right? So make sure you do what, right? You set the tone, set the pace, right? Believe 100% they're going to get started. When I went to go pick up my wife for our first date, I expected, I believe 100%, man, she's going to want to kiss me. Do you guys see what I'm saying? It's the same thing with business. And I know that's kind of gross. Somebody's like, dude, Tim, stop, right? Mainly, probably my son-in-law is going to be watching this recording, okay, if he's not on live. All I'm telling you guys is this. You got to live your life with 100% expectancy, okay? Because a lot of you are like, well, I don't know 100% of the information. I don't either, right? I didn't even know that I hit director until I hit it. I didn't even know what it took, okay? I had no idea. I got a phone call from Danny Bain. He's like, bro, you hit director already? And I'm like, I don't even know what that is. All I know is I'm excited. I was literally, when I got started in Remon, some of you were here, right? Susan Manuelo was here at the very beginning, right on day one. right? And she knows. When I got started, her sponsor called me and said, hey, can you launch this girl? She wants to get started. I said, I don't even know what we're doing. But I go get her on the phone. I'll jack her out of her mind because I knew no matter what, I didn't know what we were doing, but I knew we were going to get rich. Why? Because I made up my mind when I got started in Remon that I was going to make it happen. Over, under, through. Is there going to be challenges? I hope so. Right? If I go out on a football field and I run 100 yards and I just start dancing in the end zone for no reason, I look crazy. But if there's 11 people trying to rip my heads off when I get in the end zone, it's worth celebrating. Is there going to be setbacks? There better be. There better be. If there's challenges, there better be. The bigger the challenge, the far more fired up I get. I get fired up on challenges, right? I love challenges. That's why I'm involved in Remon, right? Danny said, dude, I want to take this company to 10 billion a year. I said, let's go. That's what I want to do, right? I said, let's do it, right? And I know it's not going to be easy. I know there's going to be setbacks. There better be, right? If we get started a company, we do $10 billion right away. That's just boring, right? It's boring. I like challenges, right? So you have one chance to make a first impression. You want to make sure you get good eye contact, smile. When you're doing it in person, gentle touches build trust. You don't need necessarily business attire. You understand what I'm saying? But you don't want to also be dressed in like a freaking, tank top or bikini or something like that. You know what I mean? And you understand? You want to be dressed for the occasion, right? When you're doing a lot of you guys are doing home meetings like crazy. Everybody right now is doing, oh man, I'm getting everybody together at my house and doing this presentation stuff. I'm having so much fun, right? And that's what everybody's doing right now. They're loving it. Sit next to your prospects. When I'm doing a one-on-one, I pull up right next to them. You guys, sometimes when I'm sitting there talking to them, I'll be talking across the table. And then when it's time to get down to business, I'll pull up right next to them, right? So you want to sit next to your prospects, right? No matter what, okay? Mainly if you bring a guest to a sit down, you don't want to be like, all right, hey, you introduce them to, you do a 3-way meeting where you're like, hey, come meet my upline or come meet my sponsor, come meet, don't say upline, it just sounds weird, but come meet my business partner that's really helping me making this thing happen. And you introduce them to your sponsor, you're like, all right, man, peace out. Let me know how it goes. And I'm going to go outside and I'm going to do some jumping jacks. You want to be with your prospect all the time, right? Now, successful opening. And it's the same thing if you're doing a Zoom one-on-one, right? If I'm doing a Zoom one-on-one, which I do all day long, Zoom one-on-one, I do them all day long. And then I get everybody promote the next event. Here's what I want to tell you, right? If I'm doing a Zoom and I'm introducing somebody to Danny Bay, or I'm introducing somebody to Betty Perez, or I'm introducing somebody to even Chris Kim, my partner, we do the same thing. We play tag. I'm sitting there and I'm edifying the heck out of Chris. And I'm just sitting there and I'm nodding my head the whole time as Chris is doing his presentation, right? I'm not turning my camera off, falling asleep. You know what I mean? I'm showing my prospect how interesting. When I go to these Asian countries, where I don't want to say Asian, any country, right? When I go to Mexico and they're speaking Spanish, I'm not going to be just sitting there sleeping. I'm going to be nodding my head, right? So they look at me and they're like, they're what can I do, right? I can nod my head, right? That's what I can do. So I do everything I can to help my prospect get started, right? So I set that tone. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. How do you let people know that you care about them? Find out why they would want to do this. And my job is to help you find something. Let's say that I'm over at your house and we're going somewhere. You're like, hey man, let's go. All right. And you're like, wait a second. I need to find something. And I'm like, all right, let me help you find it. So you're like, before we leave, I got to be able to find this. And me and you are looking around your house and I'm trying to find it. How can I help you find something? The first step in helping you find something is knowing what you're looking for. Do you understand? What do most people do, right? All of you guys that have kids, your kids can't find stuff. What's the first thing you say to them? Where'd you have it last? Well, the first thing you should say is what? What are you looking for? Do you guys see what I'm saying? And that's the same thing, right? When you're helping people find out you got to help people. My job is to help people get what they want in Remon. That's my job. Very simple, right? My job is to find out what you want and make sure no matter what, I help you get it. That's it. When you sign up people, what's your job? To find out what they want and go to war to make sure they get it. It's very easy. So if my job's to do that, then guess what I want to do? Find out what you know. Find out what you want. Like, what do you want? So how do you find out why somebody want to do this business is you ask. After you're done asking, guess what you do? You ask some more. So what do you ask about? I ask about family. I ask about occupation. I ask about recreation, what they like to do for fun. I ask about what money, like what would you do with an extra $5,000 a month right now? What would you do with an extra $500 a month right now? What would you do with it? And you just ask questions. And they'll tell you what they want. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Any of you guys have ever been on a launch call with me? What do? I ask them about themselves. I'll spend 15, 20 minutes asking them about themselves, not trying to, hey, all right, let me show you how to make this happen. Like, that's ridiculous. I want to find out about people, man. Look, you want a little secret to this business is this. Care about people. Genuinely be more interested in other people. I'm not trying to make somebody else feel a certain way about me. I don't get on a call and be like, man, I want this person to think I'm special. You got to know you're special, man. You don't need somebody else to validate it. You don't need your upline to tell you, man, you're great. You don't need your downline to say, hey, you're great. You got to tell yourself you're great. Your job's to find out what other people want. And how do you do that? By focusing on them and finding out what they want. Find out who they are. Find out about them. How do you do that? You ask questions. Tell me about your family. Tell me about what you do for work. Tell me what you've done before. Tell me about what you like to do for fun. What would you do with more free time? What would you do with more money? Tell me about it. What would you do? How? Why? Not do you. Do you want to spend more time with your family? That's a yes or no question. You ask open door questions. We'll talk about that in a second. But get them get them saying me too, not so what. Like, give an example. Even if you can't, I'm trying to find common ground, right? The word communications comes from the Latin word, which means common ground. So when you're trying to find common ground with people. So whenever I'm talking to somebody, I necessarily, like we were talking today to that pilot, I couldn't say, man, you know what? I'm a pilot too. So what I say, man, I've always wanted to fly a plane. Whatever when you're talking to somebody, you're trying to get them to feel good. I'm not trying to get somebody to be like, man, that guy's great. I'm trying to make them say, I'm great. And then they're like, man, that guy made me feel great. I want to work with him. You're trying to make other people feel good, right? You're not trying to make other people think you're good. You already should know you're good, right? So ask open door questions. What, when, where, why, how? Not are you, do you, have you? Those are yes or no questions. You want to get people doing what? Opening the door, open door questions. What is a question when they answer it has to have more information. When has to have information, right? Now, be a great listener, right? Give physical feedback. Oh my God, yes. So when you're talking to somebody, you should be getting into what they're saying. I love that phrase. Get into what they're saying. Okay? Get into what they're saying. Give them spoken feedback. Wow. Oh my God, I love that. Right? Get into what they're saying. Don't just sit there and look at them like a bump on them. Like my wife and I, when we go on dates, we'll look around and be like, dude, that guy's going to get no kissy time tonight. That guy's getting no kissy time tonight. Because the dude's just sitting there looking at this girl and maybe he's on a phone and she's on, they're not engaging, right? You got to be into what people are saying, man. And people, oh my God, such a great listener, right? It's get into what they're saying. Find out what they're talking about, right? Remember, okay, your body always tells the truth, okay? So you want to lean forward, have that confidence, put your shoulders back, chin up. You got to know you've got what it takes. You know you got what it takes, but it's going to take what you got, right? It's going to take what you got to get to where you want to go, but you've got everything. The biggest challenge when working with people a lot of times is when I work with them, the only thing that they're missing is the fact they think they're missing something. Do you guys catch that? Did everybody catch that? The thing that they're missing is the fact they think they're missing something. You see that? You've got everything that it takes. You've got what it takes. So have confidence, lean forward, know that you've got what it takes, right? Always be prepared. Have a notepad, documents, laminates, brochure, products. Now, sometimes when I go do, like if I'm going to go do a sit down at a Starbucks or at the office, even at the office, I've got products at the office, but I tell them, I say, I'll talk about this stuff and be like, man, I wish I had some freaking products here, right? And I'll look through some drawers that I know they're not in, and then I'll be like, well, let me check over here. And then I'm like, oh my God, I got some. Now they're like, yes. If I go do a one-on-one with somebody and I'm talking to them at a Starbucks, I'm going to be like, man, I wish I had some products on me. Man, I wish I had some products on me. And I'll do one of these numbers, right? Body language says, I wish I had some products on me. I'm looking for something. I go, let me go check my car. I might have some. And then I go out to the car, boom. And then they're like, oh my God, you got some, sweet. Tell me. So I get them excited and sold on everything and fired up about it. And they're like, oh my God, I'm so excited about these products. I go, I wish I had some on me. I would show you. And then I go get them. But I don't walk into a freaking Starbucks to meet with somebody and I've got all my products over here and I look like a Kirby vacuum salesman. Now, if you're a Kirby vacuum guy, don't get me mad. But what I'm saying is I try to make it seem cool, right? I try to make it seem like, not like, hey guys, we're going to, you know what I mean? I like to connect with people, talk to them. You know what I mean? And because sometimes you don't even want people in your business, man. Right? So if I talk to somebody for 30 minutes and I'm like, oh my God, I would rather get stabbed in the face than work with this person, or I'd rather watch paint dry than work with this person, I might just take it away from them and just be like, hey, look, you know what? Right? This, and I'm not saying it meanly, but you know how it is. If somebody's arguing with me and they're like being rude or whatever, it's like, I have the opportunity. I'm the one with the chance. I'm the one who's going to change their life. So I make sure that, I talk to people and I get along with them and connect with them. Now, this right here might be some of the most valuable information, right? So get ready to screenshot this if you can't take notes on this, but I'm going to give you I've said this a million times. Any of you guys have ever heard me say a presentation, heard me say it. I say right now, I'm going to give you enough information for you to be able to make an educated decision if Fremont can help change you and your family's financial future. Okay. With you taking up your time, and of course, me taking up my time, when I'm all through, give me a simple yes or give me a simple no. Because you and I both know what maybe or think about it is a nice way of saying no. And then I stick my hand out and give them a firm handshake. So when I do a presentation, I say this every time. And you know what I mean? I can say it over and over and over again, right? Right now, I'm going to give you enough information for you to be able to make an educated decision. Everyone can help change you and your family's financial future. You take up your time, me taking up my time. Give me a simple yes, give me a simple no, because I know and you know, maybe you're thinking about something, so I say no. Is that fair? This right here changes their listening. Because if I'm doing a presentation with somebody and I tell them they've got to make a decision at the end, guess what? Guess what's going to happen? They're listening with a different set of ears. Because at the end of the presentation, they know they're going to have to say yes or they're going to have to say no. So they're listening. And then I come across with a backbone. So they're like, man, this guy's serious. I like this person. People follow straight out weaknesses, right? So that's how you want to do it. You don't have to listen. All this stuff that I'm saying to you is optional. I'm just telling you how I've made it happen over the last 30 years consistently, time and time again. Okay. You don't have to do this stuff. You might be like, well, I don't want to say that. Well, don't say it. Who cares? I don't care. It's not going to affect me. It's just going to affect you, right? I'm just sharing this stuff to help you. And now let's talk about the actual presentation part. Okay. Understanding is the first part of influencing. Okay. Understanding is the first part of influencing. Okay. You can't control people. You can only influence them. But I can't influence somebody if I don't understand where they're coming from. So you'll always seek first to understand, then be understood. Right? You seek first to understand, then to be understood. So you're trying to see their point of view. You're trying to find out what you're trying to look through life out with their set of eyes. Okay. So you're understanding them. You're having compassion for them. You're finding out about where they are in their life so you can speak to them. So you can share with them to connect with them as you're getting them started. Now, what type of presentations do? We do one-on-ones on Zoom all day long, right? It's like it's ridiculous how many I've done, right? I probably average a minimum of 7 or 8 one-on-ones a day on Zoom, right? Some of you guys got signed up by me doing a one-on-one for you on Zoom, right? I do them nonstop. I do meetings at the office nonstop. Right? Before I was doing them at the office, I was doing them at the Starbucks. Why? Because I want to connect with people. The magic of Riemann is in my mouth. Do you understand that? It's my lips, right? It's me opening up my mouth, presenting this information. It's the same with you. Somebody goes, well, Tim, I'm not that good yet. Yeah, I wasn't good either when I got involved in this industry, but I got good at it by doing what? By doing it. You're not going to get good by going, ready, aim. It's ready, fire, aim, right? It's fire, ready, aim. It's let's go. Because you got a presentation dang near every day that you can plug people into a second exposure. If I do a presentation on Monday at noon, what am I going to do? Get them on the Monday night call. If I can't get them on the call, guess what I'm going to say? Man, I hope they record it. If there's a recording of this, I'll call you. So you can't be on, I'll try to get you the recording. Now, when I get the recording, what do? I say, when do you have 30 minutes, right? If the call's 35 minutes, I'm going to say, when do you have 35 minutes, right? When you got 30 minutes alone that you can listen to this information. And they're like, at 6, at 9 or 10 or tomorrow at 3. Okay, cool. Here's what I'll do. At 3 o'clock, I'll send that information over to you and I'll call you at 3:36 or 3:40. So they know after they're done, they have to listen to it, learn, and then I'm going to be able to answer all your questions. So write down any questions that you have. When I get somebody on a Zoom at night, I'm saying, hey, look, you know what? You might have some questions afterwards, right? So guess what I want you to do? Write them down. Right when the Zoom's over, I'm going to connect with you, right? Or I do a Zoom after the Zoom if I've got multiple guests on there. So I'm trying to get everybody enrolled in the business. So understanding is the first part of influencing. You've got to find out what makes them tick, right? Edification is everything, right? Edification, saying good things about people. That's really what you do. Find out things. Look, be a good finder, not a fault finder. Like, it's unbelievable to me All you got to do is look for the good in people. Find out what motivates people. Get excited about your team. Edification is everything. Everything. And I don't just edify the presenter, I edify my guest. You understand? I edify my guest. If I'm introducing somebody to somebody on a Zoom, let's say I've got a guest I'm introducing to Chris Kim, or I got a guest I'm introducing to Danny Bay, or I got a guest I'm introducing to Betty Perez. I'm not just talking good about Betty, I'm talking good about them. And they're hearing me say this, they're like, dang, that's awesome, right? Edify everybody, man, because people only rise to high expectations. Nobody rises to low expectations, right? How to win friends and influence people. I have a training on that. I should do that sometime. I'll do that sometime in the near future. I've got a full training on that book. I broke that whole thing down. I got a great training on it. And in that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, they say, give a dog a good name. Give a dog a good name. Right? If you call your dog dummy head or poo-poo butt or whatever, and that's the name of your dog, it's not going to be a great dog, right? So it's the same that what Dale Carnegie's talking about in How to Win Friends and Influence People is what? Give people expectations to rise to, right? Give people the expectations to rise to. And when I give recognition, I don't give recognition based upon who they are. I give recognition based upon their effort. I don't say congratulations on your accomplishment. I say, congratulations, your hard work is paying off. There's a major difference there. If I tell somebody congratulations for your accomplishment, it's gonna get them to stop growing. But if I say it's amazing, all your hard work's paying off, I appreciate your commitment, I appreciate your hard work, I appreciate your dedication. I mean, God, there's a book on this stuff, man, called The Talent Code. I'm not gonna get into this today. That's another training too. I've got that training. I'm not even gonna give that to you today. Open them up to something different. That's what we're doing when we're presenting. You're opening them up to something different. So I usually say, I didn't know, when I looked at this, I was a little bit negative, a little bit doubtful, a little bit skeptical, but in the back of my mind, I was hopeful. Did you guys catch that? I was a little bit skeptical, a little bit doubtful, a little bit negative, but a little bit what? Hopeful. Because see, I was looking for something. And the guy that shared with me the information, my mentor, he said to me, he says, if you do what everybody else does, you're going to get what everybody else gets. He goes, if you want something different, you've got to do something different. So I realized what I was doing was going to get me to where I didn't. If I want to go from here to LA, well, I don't want to go to LA. It's on fire. I want to go to San Diego, right? I want to get away from LA. Okay. If I'm going to San Diego, guess what? Okay. I don't jump on the North Freeway. If I go five north and I'm trying to get to San Diego, how fast do I have to go to get there? Do you understand? So you got to realize that some people are destined for what they're doing. Their plan is designed for them not to get to where they want to go. So if I find out what somebody wants, I've got to help them understand they've got to do something different if they want to have something different. So I say that in the phrase of this is what was told to me that opened up my mind, right? So it's super simple, guys. Decision making is 20% logic, 80% emotion. Make no mistake about it. I know somebody's like, well, not me. I know we've got a lot of doctors on the call, right? I know a lot of doctors in the organization. Why? Because the efficacy of our products, right? When you have products that are this good, it's easy for somebody that has really high reputation to be able to get behind such powerful products. But guess what? It's still emotional. Okay. I always give the example this, right? Have you ever kissed somebody on the lips and they say, yeah. And I go, well, then guess what? That's not logical. That's not a clean area of your body, but people still do it. Why? Because it's emotional. Let me give you another example. If we were all logical, then guess what? We wouldn't be wearing clothes. We wear burlap bags. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we make decisions based upon emotion, but enough logic to justify an emotional decision, okay? So, so let's talk about this, okay? Get your prospects in the yes mode, okay? Does that make sense to you? Okay, are you following me on this? Don't say the same one every time. Are you with me on that? 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 Yes or yes? Like, stop. Use different ones. Does that make sense? All right. Are you following me on this? You want to make sure you're asking questions to get them engaged, right? When I develop presenters, I say, watch me do a live presentation and count how many questions I ask. And it's like upwards of 200 questions. Why do I ask so many questions? Because questions bring people into what you're saying. You guys see that? Ask questions. Don't just freaking fire those people with information. Okay. Do you see what I'm saying? Are you following me on it? Is that starting to make sense? Can you see when I share you're following, right? Yeah. You're trying to get them to make sure that they're listening and learn, like getting involved in what you're saying, right? So why do we do presentations? This might be one of the most important parts about presenting. To remove objections. So if you do 5 presentations and you get the same objection, what do you think you're probably not doing a very good job of in that presentation? Probably removing that objection, right? Probably not removing that objection. It doesn't matter what the objection is. Okay, you remove it in the presentation. When you do that with your story, right? You do that with when you're sharing the information, right? Whatever, it doesn't matter what the objection is. Like, well, I heard this objection, Tim. What do I do? Remove it in the presentation, right? I mean, goodness gracious, when I got involved in network marketing, guys, I was 17 years old. It was $1,295 to get started in my company. Listen to what I'm saying. It was $1,200. There was no like different packages. It was $1,295 or thanks for coming out. And you didn't get anything for that. You just got a business. There was no products you could resell. Okay. This is back in '96. When I got started, I recruited a bunch of 17-year-olds just like me. How do you think I got 17-year-olds to fire $1,295? I told my story. I told my story that I found the money and how I got it. And then everyone's like, oh, well, if he can do it, I can do it. Because everybody knew, all my buddies knew I was the brokest guy they knew. So I'm just telling you, when you're doing your testimonial, that's how you remove the objection. So whatever objection you're hearing over and over and over again is because you're not removing it throughout your presentation. And I know some of you are like, well, you know what? I don't even do anything. I haven't just got started. I don't even know what you're talking about. Just listen to this information. Whenever the time applies, you'll be able to apply it to your business, okay? Paint them into the picture. What's in it for me? WIIFM. What's in it for me? That's people are tuned into their own radio station, right? So when you're talking to people, paint them into the picture. Like, how do I do this? And I give them an income example, and I'm showing them an income example, and I say, imagine what your life would look like if, let's just say, you're making an extra $500 a month. If you had $500 a month coming in every single month, and all you had to do was put this product on Change Your Face, you could change your finances. Would it help you offset maybe some grocery bills? Maybe that would help you with, and you're painting them into the picture. And you go, well, maybe you took it a little bit more serious and you're making $5,000 a month. How would your life change at $5,000 a month? How do you go from 500 to 5,000? You find some more wrinkles. You find some more wrinkles. So if you're making 5,000 a month, how would that change your life? What would be different in your life? Maybe you would be able to save up and take more vacations. Maybe you'd be able to pay off your house payment, or you understand, you paint them into the picture. You ask a question and then you answer it a little bit for them. Or if you're doing a one-on-one, you can let them answer, okay? So it's super simple. You know, always use voice inflection. You guys see that? Like, I'm going to give you an example of what voice inflection is. I'm going to use a sentence and I'm going to change my voice inflection. It's going to change the meaning of the sentence. So if the sentence is, this is how I learned this from Zig Ziglar in the 90s. So this is going to date me, but when I'm going to say the same thing I've always used, because this is what I learned. If I say the sentence, he did not steal the VCR. Okay. He did not steal the VCR. Let me explain to you how I can change that just by using voice inflection. If I say he did not steal the VCR, that means somebody else stole it. If I say he did not steal the VCR, that means he just borrowed it. If I said he did not steal the VCR, that means it was the television he stole. So you can change the meaning of a sentence by using what? Voice inflection. So if you sound monotone, guess what? Change it. How can you change it? Well, you're not a bird. That's the good news, right? You're not a crocodile. Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever discovered the fact that we're not birds? We can change it. How do we change it? Just by making a decision to use voice inflection. You guys see that? So it's super simple to do, but you just got to do it, okay? And then obviously a good presentation will educate, entertain, and inspire. It's kind of interesting, right? You got to educate them. You got to entertain them a little bit, and you got to inspire them a little bit. That's what a good presentation will do. But the way to do it is when you're doing a one-on-one, a lot of times people are like, well, I'm just going to share with them the information. That's okay. You can get people started by doing that. I'm talking about being the best right now. This information I'm giving you, this is ridiculous information. If we had time individually and I introduce you to the people that I've taught this to and what they're doing now and the lives that they changed, it's unbelievable, right? I can show you. I'm telling you, this stuff is not open for discussion, right? This stuff works every time, okay? So talk a little bit more about presenting. I got to look at my time. I'm doing okay on time. Okay. Make fun of yourself before your prospect does. What do I always say? You guys have heard me say it a million times. An ugly guy in the beauty industry, I do that. Why? Because it makes fun of me. It makes people go, oh, this guy's chill. right? I don't want to be double, hey, everybody look at me. I'm the best. Look at me. I'm a national director. I don't ever talk about that stuff. It's stupid. I already know who I am. I've got to make them feel good. So I try to come down to earth. So whatever it is about you, make fun of it. If you're like, well, there's nothing to make fun about me, Tim. I'm very intelligent. Well, then call yourself a nerd. You understand? Because you just sound like a nerd by thinking that way. If you're like, well, I'm absolutely beautiful, then say that maybe make fun of, how smart you are like I do, right? And I make fun of how ugly I am. I say, when I got involved in this industry, I was what? I tell people, man, you know what? I had no money. I was busy. I was broke. I didn't have any money. I didn't have any time. I was dumb. And I'm ugly. Like, come on, man. I was striking out all over the place. So I tell people that to relax. But if I'm trying to impress people, nobody wants to be around those people, right? You want to be around people that make you feel better. Give commercials for the next event. When I'm doing a presentation, I'm saying, man, tonight at 6 p.m., we're going to get more in detail on this. So I'm just going to give you a brief overview. Every time I'm doing a presentation, guess what I'm doing? I'm giving a commercial for the next event. I'm telling you, Saturday, you're going to understand when Kai and I do that presentation, you're going to say, man, you know what? That was powerful. I just gave you a commercial for Saturday's training, right? Or Saturday's overview. People don't care where you are. They care where you're going. Do you understand? Somebody's like, well, if I was a national director, people would really get started with me. Well, that doesn't even make any sense. People don't care where you are. They care where you're going. You understand? Like, I don't care what my position or title or anything that thing is. It's like, we're not doing anything yet. I haven't even gotten started in Remont. This is not even the beginning yet. Okay. So realize we're going to make this thing happen big. Some of you guys might think that but when I say, hey, look, you know what? We're going to be doing $2 billion in sales a year. People go, that's crazy. Don't believe me. Just watch. You guys see that? I'm telling you guys, I'm not playing games. I'm not going to get into the believability gap. This is too next level. Identify, attack, and confess, logic, and reason, call to action. I'm not going to get into that today. I'm going to talk a little bit about closing and wrap this thing up like a Christmas present. Okay. I'm going to put all these up here so I can go through them fast, right? Confidence, urgency, fear of loss. Okay. People are going to be more motivated by fear of loss than hope of gain, right? So you got to understand that about human nature. You got to have urgency. You got to have confidence, right? It's very simple. Have their application ready to go, or pull your phone out and help them type it in for them. You don't just be like, all right, here's my link, go through it, right? And if you are, and you're now with them in present with them, walk them through it online with you. Do you understand what I'm saying? I will actually ask for their information and type it in, but these are people that I know. Whatever it is, you got to walk them through it. I want to get you started right now. And guess what? I always expect them to get started with a big boy set, minimum. All right. Okay. And always expect a starter set, right? Did you see a way for you to be able to make some serious money? Did you see a way for you to be able to, earlier you're talking about how you want to be able to retire your wife. Did you see a way for you to be able to do that? Yeah. All right. Well, let's get you rolling, right? And I'm going to get them started. I'm going to have confidence, get them started. But guess what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to expect them to get started with a big boy set. What happens to some people is they get started and they get a couple people started and they get the little baby sets, right? They get somebody started and you're like, wait a second, they just got a little baby set. And you get somebody started to get a little baby set. And now you're starting to expect everybody to get little baby sets. No, I always expect people to get started with at least a premium set, if you know what I'm talking about, okay? Ask a closing question and shut up. Some people talk too much. They talk themselves out of the business, okay? Very simple, right? And then use a cushion. When people have an objection, you don't be like, oh my God, never mind, I'm out of here. When I'm talking to somebody that has an objection, I'm glad you said that. That's exactly how I felt, right? I was the same way. When I saw this, that's kind of what was going through my mind. I like the fact that you're thinking that way because that's kind of how I felt, right? But here's what I found out, right? So I know how you feel. I felt the same way. Here's what I found out, but I don't sound like that. I will be like, oh my God, you're just like me. That's ridiculous. What you're saying is literally how I was. If it is, right? If not, I'm like, oh my God, you sound like my top producer. That's exactly what so-and-so said, right? So that's how you want to feel, felt, frown. Persistence wears down. Resistance, 7 no's equals a yes, right? Danny Bay was telling this to people in Hong Kong. Took him 8 times to get me in the business. He goes, I knew what Tim taught me, persistence wears down resistance. Somebody says, no. If I'm getting somebody started in that closing situation, they're going to say no. They're going to be hesitant. Why? Because they want to know that I believe in this business. Somebody goes, well, if they don't say no, yes right away, I'm just going to leave them there. They know you don't believe it. If I know right now that if somebody gets started with me, I'm going to take them to the top, over, under, through. right? And it's easy for me to talk to them. And when they say no, to overcome that objection, no, overcome that objection, no, overcome that objection. You understand? Somebody goes, how do I know they really want to do it? If they're still talking to you, they want to do it. If I'm on a Zoom with somebody and I'm walking them through the sign-up process and they're giving me objections, I know they want to do it or they would push end. You understand? If I'm sitting with somebody in my living room and they're still listening to me talk, guess what I know? They want in. How do I know when they don't want to get in? They'll stand up. You understand? They'll walk away. So if they're still sitting, they want in. Okay, their mouth might be saying no, but their body's saying what? Yes. When I'm sitting there with somebody and they're still talking to me, they want me to get them in the business. Okay, so understand that. Fill out their application for them. If you're filling out apps, if you're walking them through it, walk them through it. If you're doing it together with them in person, fill it out for them on the little keyboard thing, right? It's super simple. If you're getting somebody started over a Zoom and you're walking them through the sign-up process, walk them through that. Here's what that means. Here's what that means. Put that information right there. Why? Because if I'm filling it out with them, when they come to a part where they have a snag, where they're like, I don't know, I can walk them through that, right? So I have an assumptive close. I'm walking them through the sign-up process whenever they have some type of rejection. Now, here's what happens if somebody's like, I don't want to buy a kit. Some of you guys are like, okay, just get in. Like, I know they're not going to win. If they have no product, it's like, all right, let's go to war with what, a spoon? What? We're going to go to war with a spoon? How are you going to go to war with a good idea? Like, I need some weapons, dude. You understand what I'm saying? So I get people started with as many products as possible. Somebody's like, I just don't like that, Tim. You don't like to help people win? I'm glad I'm not on your team. Think about it. It's a no-brainer, man. Get people loaded up with products. Why? Because not that I want to sell somebody $1 million worth of products, but I want them to have enough for them to win. Because if they get started with a bigger package, they're going to have other people do the same thing. But if they get started with a 300 set, they're only going to get people started with 300 and lower. If I just get in, and I'm like weak sauce, applesauce, like, please just get in my business. You're going to create a bunch of weak people. You understand? Like, if somebody's like, I just say, be a customer. Get some products. If you don't have, I would rather you be a customer and get a testimonial than be a planner and get nothing. You know what I mean? Like, here, I'll pull out here's, buy this from me, dude. Like, let's go. You know what I mean? So people be afraid not to join you if they know that you know where you're going. Jackpot. Let me say again. People be afraid not to join you if they know that you know where you're going, right? You got to have a backbone, not a wishbone. You understand? We're going to the top, over, under, or through. You got to have that confidence, okay? Some people close to live, other people live to close. You understand? So if you're closing to live, you're desperate. I need somebody in my business. If I need you, I can't lead you. If I need you, I can't lead you. You understand? I'm not needy. Like, literally, when I started Remon, I started this, when Chris and I got started, we started with nothing. We didn't roll over our last company. Yeah, a couple people ended up coming with us, but very few. We didn't touch those people. I can rebuild this. I don't want to. Don't get me wrong. I love my team, but I'm saying I can. I've been doing this. This is over and over and over again for so many damn years, so consistently. So if you're like, oh my God, my person, they don't want to get on a call, Tim. Oh my God. It doesn't matter. Maybe they'll come around 5 months from now, 6 months from now. We're going to the top, over, under, through. Let's go. Right? So when I get people started, I don't do it I need the business. I do it because I'm like, look, you get in with me, we're going to win. That's why I live to get people started. I don't get people started so I can live. Okay. If you don't get them started, at least leave them happy. You don't ever want to pressure somebody. I don't drag them across the starting line. I'm not like pressuring people. You understand the difference? But I'm staying in there. My mentor said, you stay in there. You're like, I'm so smooth when I'm talking to people. I'm like, oh yeah, man, I'm with you. Don't even worry about that. I'm not pounding people. You're not dragging somebody across the starting line, right? But what you're doing is if they're still sitting there, they want to do the business. If they're still talking to you, they want in. But they're like, they want to buy your confidence. They're trying to buy your confidence. And if you're like, oh, you don't want to do it. Okay, I understand. What? I don't understand someone not getting started in Remon. Like, I honestly don't understand that. Now, I don't make people feel awkward if they don't want to do it, but there's nothing that makes any sense to me. You understand? Like, I understand this is the best opportunity on the planet. I've been around this industry, right? I had somebody get started and they're like, well, I think I'm going to go do this. Go, bye, see you later. Like, forget you ever met me. Forget you ever met me because I'm going to haunt you. I'm going to haunt you. Why? Because I'm dead serious. Over, under, through, man. We're doing it. That's the mindset you've got to have if you want to win, right? So, but guess what? You don't pound on people. That was like, I'm grateful for people that I introduce this business to that don't get started. And I'm not mean to them. Why? Because I love everybody. I literally just like making friends. Like if I meet, but I also want them to get involved in the business with me so I can spend more time with them. When I sponsor somebody in the business, that means that we're going to be able to spend more time together. So I want to spend more time with people. I'm making friends. You understand? I'm changing people's lives, right? I'm making people, some people might not always like me, but they're going to love me because I'm going to make sure they get to where they want to go. You guys see that? So get them in the business. If they don't, then make sure they're happy and you may remain buddies. Because guess what? Everything changes. Lives changes. It took me 8 months of meeting with Danny Bay so many times before I got started, right? I didn't blow him out. You know, some of our top people, Robert Nons, one of our top guys, you know, took forever. Another guy that took forever. You know, Kai Wynn took forever. Okay. Christy Bellison took forever. Right. Some of our top leaders, it took forever to get them in, but we didn't give up. Right. We just got a new person started in Korea. She is huge. It took like 14 months to get her in. You know what I mean? Like forever. So I'm just telling you, don't ever make people feel bad, but you want to make sure if people want to buy your confidence. So just be confident, right? Stay the course. I'm going to wrap this thing up like a burrito. I went like 2 minutes over, so I apologize. Here's where you are today. The line in the middle, there's yellow on the bottom. That's effort. That's results. On the top is effort. Okay. So when you get started in Remon today, you're putting in a lot of effort, not getting much results because it's just you. But if you stay consistent over a 30-day period, you're going to have an organization. If you stay consistent over a 60-day period, you're going to have a big organization. If you stay consistent, word being consistent, not consistently inconsistent, right? It's not like, man, I'm not going to do anything. And then at the end of 30 days, I'm going to go talk to 300 people. No, I'm just going to talk to 10 people a day, 10 people a day, 10 people a day, 10 people a day, right? I'm always, and that seems like a lot for you, at least 10, maybe 10 people a week for you. Doesn't matter. It might be one person a day. I don't care, but do something consistently. Well, Tim, I just don't know who to talk to. I'm talking to everybody. I talk to everybody all the time. If I'm at a Starbucks, I'm talking to the guy that was making my coffee. That's where Danny Bay come from. He was working at a Starbucks when I got him, right? I'm talking to everybody, right? How I found Chris Kim was, guess what? Found him through a dude that was working at an ice cream store. You understand? I will talk to anybody all the time, not because I'm trying to get them involved in my business. I could care less. I'm trying to help people win. If they want to get started, great, let's go. But I'm talking to everybody. I talk to people at the gas station. I've talked to so many people at the gas station, pumping gas. What are you doing over there, bro? This gas is incredible, man. This must be the best gas on the planet. Look at the prices. They're proud of this stuff. And I just make jokes and just boom. Start. I love to meet people. I love to make friends. Okay. So make more friends. But at the beginning, it's just you. And if you stay consistent for 30 days, you're putting in that effort, getting the right results. You stay consistent for 60 days, you're getting more results. At the end of 90 days, you're putting in, your results are so much more magnified than what your effort is. Now I'm always putting in max effort, but I'm getting multiple rewards on it, right? So understand that at the beginning, you just got to stay on course. So the example I'll give you is like when you first get started, right? Everybody wants to make a lot of money. Then what happens is boom, they make it happen, right? Now, if you don't stay on course, what happens, right? You get started in Remon, and what do? You're consistent for a week. You're like, oh my God, I'm so excited. And then boom, right? And then what happens, right? Boom, you're sitting there with a black eye, right? So you want to be consistent over a long period of time. 60, 90 days, 120 days, a year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever it takes. For me, I'm just going to keep on keeping on until I can't no more. Why? Because how many lives do you think are going to be changed because of what we're doing right now? There's people on this call right now that are getting some of the best training they could possibly ever get. And this stuff, it applies to everything. You understand? It makes you a better communicator. It made me a better football coach. It made me a better husband. It made me a better father. Right? It made me a better person to my member of my community. Okay? So let's call to action. Let's wrap this thing up. Have 5 guests on tomorrow's Zoom. Can you? Yes. Will you? You understand? You got to ask yourself, right? I'm telling you guys what, I would get somebody on there, right? But guess what? You might not. It doesn't matter to me. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't matter to me. But I'm telling you guys what, it's going to be a bomb presentation. Kai and I, that's deadly, right? That's deadly. And then we got Bro Glow Saturday, right? Right? We got the Bro Glow Saturday, but then on Monday we got the female, right? That are killing it right now. Abigail and Christy Belston are getting like everybody in. So all the presentations you do all day long, bam, get them on a second exposure. Somebody's like, well, I'm scared. Tim, I'm scared. I'm scared of missing out. I'm scared of watching everybody else get wealthy. Like, that's what you should be scared of, right? Not of talking to somebody and doing a presentation. And you're going to get better. If you're brand new and you're like, I don't think I can do it, at least put them in front of somebody else and listen to the one-on-ones that they do. Qualify for the Cabo retreat. Get qualified for the recruit run and have some fun. Like, you got to get qualified for that right away. People are getting qualified for that left and right. It's time to take action, right? Without action, nothing counts, man. You got to have that confidence to know that, man, we're going to get this done, right? We're going to make it happen. And we're just literally playing tag. What are we doing? We're just playing tag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ready or not? Here I come. Tag, you're it. Tag, you're it. Have fun. That's all it is. Have more fun. Somebody goes, man, how do I make it happen? Have more fun. Have more fun. Whoever has the most fun is making the most money. Like, that's it. How do I have fun? Talking to people. How do you feel when you give your best? Talking to people. Man, I'm so fired up right now about Riemann. Why? Because all day long, I'm just having fun, talking to people, making new friends. Let's go make some new friends. There's people out there that you don't know yet. You could go meet some new people. Let's go make friends. Let's go make friends and make them, hey, make them look better? What? That's like miracle stuff, right? I'm making people look better. I'm helping people make more money. Like, we're having fun. This is our time. Don't prejudge anybody, man. Start presenting. Start talking to people. Start using this stuff, man. Where you are right now and where you're going to be is not the same person. So I know somebody's like, well, I don't really think I can make a substantial amount of income, Tim. Don't worry. When you get to 500, you're going to see more, right? When I didn't believe I could make millions, I got to, 5,000 a month. I thought I was wealthy. I was like, oh my God, I'm the richest guy I know. And then then I'm like, well, maybe I can make more. You understand what I'm saying? So just realize this business, guys, it's all about growth and development. Where you are right now is not going to be the same person, but the only way to get better is by doing what? By taking action. You understand? Somebody's like, how do I motivate my people? Go get motivated. Go get jacked out of your mind and just start running, not being like, I got to bring everybody along with me. How do you get a stampede started? You just go. Think about it. You ever seen Lion King? How'd that stampede get started? One, boom, they started and everybody else just followed. That's how I do it. I just run. If you want to follow. If you want to stay here and get eaten by lions, do it. I don't care, but I'm running, dude. Start running, man. We're having fun. I'm having more fun. Have more fun. So I'm fired up, you guys, like never before. I know I went a little bit over. God bless you guys. Let's go all out massive action. We got Brianna next week. So if you aren't excited about that, if you're not on fire for Brianna, your wood's wet, man. We're having too much fun. Get everybody in on the skincare challenge. I see you, Abby. Man, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it, you guys. I see you guys. See you, Christy Malone. Let's make it happen, you guys. God bless you guys. Let's make it happen, everybody. Thanks for coming on the call.